Have you ever said the Lord's Prayer and felt nothing? You repeated the words, you knew the lines, but deep down, felt like routine, almost automatic. What if the problem isn't your faith, but your understanding? Because this prayer, the one millions of people say every day, was never meant to be a ritual. It was meant to be a strategy. What if I told you, Jesus didn't just give us words to repeat. He gave us a blueprint for accessing God, a way to think, a way to approach heaven, a way to align your life with divine power. And most people completely miss it. This isn't just a prayer. It's a weapon. It's alignment. It's transformation. And once you truly understand it, you will never pray the same way again. In this video, we're going to break down the Lord's Prayer, not just what it says, but what it actually means. You'll begin to see why Jesus chose every word carefully, what each line is really doing spiritually, and how this prayer can completely reshape your relationship with God. By the end of this video, you won't just repeat this prayer anymore. You'll understand it. And when you understand it, everything changes. Everything in this prayer begins with one word: Father. Not ruler, not judge, not distant creator. Father. And that one word changes everything. Because the way you see God determines the way you approach Him. If you see Him as distant, your prayers will feel distant. If you see Him as strict, your prayers will feel heavy. If you see Him as unreachable, your prayers will feel powerless. But Jesus didn't start this prayer with distance. He started it with relationship. He wanted you to understand something before you even ask for anything. You are not speaking into emptiness. You are speaking to someone who knows you, someone who sees you, someone who cares about you deeply. And that changes the posture of your heart. Because a servant speaks differently than a son. A stranger speaks differently than a child. And when you truly understand that God is your Father, you stop trying to perform in prayer, and you start connecting. Think about it. A child doesn't rehearse before speaking to a loving father. A child doesn't worry about saying everything perfectly. There is freedom. There is trust. There is closeness. That is what Jesus was introducing. Not religion, not routine, but access. And many people miss this. They pray but they feel disconnected. They speak but it feels like no one is listening. Not because God is far, but because they still see Him as far. But the moment that shifts, the moment you truly believe that He is your Father, prayer stops being a duty and becomes a connection. Then Jesus continues, Hallowed be your name. Now this isn't a word we use often. Hallowed means holy, sacred, set apart. But this is deeper than just saying God is holy. This is about recognition. It's about understanding who you are speaking to. Because in the Bible, a name represents identity, authority, and nature. So when you say, Hallowed be your name, you are acknowledging God for who He truly is, not reducing Him, not making Him ordinary, not treating Him casually. And this matters more than we think. Because in today's world, everything is treated casually. Even God. His name is used without thought, without reverence, without understanding. But Jesus was teaching the opposite. He was teaching that before you ask for anything, you align your heart with who God is. Because when you recognize His holiness, it shifts your mindset. You begin to approach Him with honor. You begin to see Him differently. And when that happens, your life begins to change. Because you cannot truly see God as holy and continue living casually. Your choices begin to reflect your awareness. Your words begin to reflect your reverence. Your actions begin to reflect your understanding. This part of the prayer isn't just spoken, it's lived. Then Jesus says something powerful. Your kingdom come. At first it sounds simple, but it's not. This is a bold request. Because when you say this, you are inviting God's authority into your life. You are saying, God, let your way take over, not mine. And this is where the struggle begins. Because naturally we want control. We want our plans to succeed. We want our desires to be fulfilled. We want things to go our way. But this prayer flips that. It shifts your focus from, what do I want? To, what does God want? And that is not easy. Because surrender requires trust. It means letting go of control and believing that God's way is better than yours. Even when you don't understand it. Even when it doesn't make sense. Even when it feels uncomfortable. And this is where real transformation begins. Because as long as you are building your own kingdom, you will struggle to experience God's. But the moment you shift, the moment you begin to say, your kingdom come, and mean it, everything starts to realign. Your decisions change. Your priorities shift. Your mindset transforms. Because now you are no longer living just for yourself. You are living with purpose. Then comes one of the most challenging parts. Your will be done. This is where prayer becomes real. Because it's easy to ask God for what we want, but it's difficult to accept what He wants, especially when it doesn't match our expectations. There are moments in life where things don't go the way we planned. Doors close. Opportunities disappear. Situations don't turn out how we hoped. And in those moments, this part of the prayer becomes personal. Because saying your will be done means trusting God, even when you don't understand. It means believing that His perspective is higher than yours, that He sees what you cannot see, that He understands what you cannot understand, and that His plan is greater than your plan. This is not weakness. This is strength. Because it takes strength to trust. It takes strength to let go. It takes strength to surrender control. But when you do, you find something powerful. Because you are no longer carrying the pressure of trying to control everything. You are trusting the one who already does. Then Jesus brings it back to something simple. Give us this day our daily bread. Notice, daily. Not monthly. Not yearly. Daily. Because this part of the prayer teaches dependence. In a world that teaches self-reliance, this reminds you that God is your source. Not just for food, but for everything. Strength, wisdom, peace, direction. And this is where many people struggle. Because we want security. We want guarantees. We want to know that everything is figured out. But Jesus teaches something different. Trust God one day at a time. Because when you focus too much on the future, you create anxiety. But when you trust God daily, you find peace. Because you realize you are not alone. You are not carrying everything by yourself. You are being sustained daily. Then comes something deeply personal. Forgive us as we forgive others. This is where things get real. Because forgiveness is not easy. It's easy to ask for forgiveness, but it's hard to give it. Especially when you've been hurt. Especially when someone wronged you. Especially when they don't deserve it. But Jesus connects the two. Because you cannot fully receive grace while refusing to give it. And this is where many people get stuck. They hold on to pain. They hold on to resentment. They hold on to past wounds. And it weighs them down. But forgiveness is not about saying what happened was okay. It's about releasing the burden. It's about choosing not to carry it anymore. Because when you hold on to bitterness, it doesn't just affect them. It affects you. But when you forgive, you free yourself. Then Jesus says, lead us not into temptation. This is about awareness. Because life is full of distractions. There are things that pull you away from purpose. Things that weaken your focus. Things that lead you in the wrong direction. And instead of waiting until you fall, this prayer teaches you to stay prepared, to stay alert, to stay grounded, to stay aligned. Because strength is not built in the moment of pressure. It's built before it. Then comes power. Deliver us from evil. This is not symbolic. This is real. Because there are battles you cannot fight on your own. There are struggles that require more than willpower. And this part of the prayer is a declaration. I need God's help. It's recognizing that you are not meant to do life alone, that there is power available to you. And when you call on that power, things change. Then it ends with authority. For yours is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. This is confidence. This is alignment. This is truth. No matter what happens, God is still in control. And when you end your prayer this way, you shift your focus from your problems to His power. So now the question is, are you just saying this prayer? Or are you living it? Because once you understand it, everything changes.